What's going on, College Football Nation? My name is Ben Ledoux, and you're watching the Voice of College Football Recruiting channel. You can follow my socials, X and Instagram, at BallByBen. And in this video today, we are continuing our 2026 Blue Chip Recruiting Class Series with the number 2 quarterback in the nation, Faizon Brandon. And as we share the tab here, we'll pull it up, 24/7 scouting report. He's QB, standing at 6'3.5", weighing in at 200 pounds. He attends Grimsley High School in Greensboro, North Carolina. 24/7 Sports Composite has him as the number 5 player in the nation, the number 2 player, the number 2 QB in the class, and the number 1 player out of North Carolina. And as you see at the top, Tennessee Volunteers hard commit as of 8/3/2024. He holds 25 offers, notably from Tennessee, Alabama, Boston College, Charlotte, and Duke. And actually, we're going to switch up the type of player analysis videos that we're going to start making. I'm actually going to watch the huddle highlights first, and then as a group, as a viewership, we're going to go over the scouting report together and see what we agree on and disagree on. So we'll actually hop into the highlights first here. Hop straight in. We got 4 minutes and 25 seconds of Faizon Brandon QB highlights. So right off the bat, he's got great stature. He looks tall. He's a little thin, but I think once he adds on a little bit of weight, once he gets into that 215, 220 range, he's going to be a great size for a quarterback. Perfect. Right off the bat, this is exquisite out of Faizon Brandon. Good vocab word. He notices that this goal line fade, I think this is probably just a straight up seam from this wide receiver here. But I like how he throws this player open right here. So he kind of hits him with a stutter step, and then he throws this ball back shoulder, but with enough air to throw it over this cheating DB right here. And that's a great catch by the wide receiver, but Faizon threw him open right there. And that's honestly perfect out of a QB, especially at the high school level. So basically what I want to see out of Brandon here is arm talent. So right there is perfect. We see the arm talent right away, his ability to throw the deep ball. He's got great arm strength. But I want to see his decision-making as well. I want to see him be able to throw across the middle, layer the football between maybe a linebacker and then between a safety, so layering it above. And I think we're actually going to see it right here. So boom. So this linebacker right here, and he's got to not put too much air on it to where it's going out of the back of the end zone, but I think he puts just the right touch on it for that wide receiver to make a great play and a great catch in the back of the end zone. So this is a phenomenal start for Faizon real quick. Right there, showing off his dual threat ability. I think after watching these highlights a few times, I don't think he is a scramble first quarterback. I think he is a quarterback that if you don't take into account his ability to scramble and run with the football, he's going to hurt you. Because if you just prioritize your pass defense against Faizon Brandon, it's not going to work out well for you, because I think if you just rush 4, he's going to find the gap, kind of like your Lamar Jacksons, your Jaden Daniels. He's going to find the gap, and he's going to take off with that football, and he's going to hurt you downfield. So let's continue to watch here. Little RPO look. Receiver crosses his face. That's great timing, too. Green cleats action. I like that. I like the style. Roll out to the right. Two people in his face, and he just lets the ball go. There's the arm strength again across the middle. I want to see some more decisive reads. I think he's just kind of making a lot of first read decisions, and looks like a lot of fades and a lot of streaks or seams right up the middle, up the hash. I want to see him make, that's just a 3-step drop and let it go. Let's see. 3-step drop, takes off again here. Yeah. His dual threat ability is there for sure. He's gonna hurt defenses if they don't take that into account. Got a wide side to the left. 3-step drop. Lets the ball go. Yeah, he's letting the ball go early. I want to see actually on this play where his head is directly at. I mean, that's going to be a tough look, because obviously from this angle it's honestly going to look like he's looking at both. But let's see. So where's his head looking at? So he's looking over to the left here. I think he knows. I necessarily don't agree with that ball there, because it looks like this safety back here makes a great play. But I think this is just a great catch, and honestly a pretty good placement by Faizon here. Yeah, and the wide receiver just makes a great play. Let's see here. So he's looking to the left, looking back to the right, scrambles, directs traffic. Okay, that's a great play. That's exactly what you want to see. That's exactly what I'm talking about, and I think that's perfect. So watch his head here. He's going to take his drop. He's looking left here. He's looking left. He doesn't really like it. Feels and sees this pressure off the right end. Scrambles out of there. Directs traffic. Throws it right at the sticks. Towards the ground. That's a great play. That's a great play. I love that. So what we've seen is we've seen the arm strength. We've seen him be able to let the ball loose. We've seen him be able to layer footballs, which is fantastic across the middle. And we've seen him in his decision-making really on display here in the huddle highlights. This here, I hope, can get cleaned up just a little bit. This is really nitpicky, but I think it's obviously something that can be changed up real fast at the next level. Watch his feet on this one. He's trying to get this ball out. But I think once you get wide receivers that are bigger, stronger, faster at the next level, I think this timing route is going to be even better. So, like, he's chopping his feet. He wants to let this ball go, but he's kind of waiting for his wide receiver to get to the sticks here. So, still a great ball, still on time, but I know that he is ready to let that ball go quicker. 3 and a hitch. Little underthrown, slightly underthrown. A great adjustment by the wide receiver, but still giving his wide receivers the ability to make the one-on-one ball, one-on-one catch, I think is a great display of trust. Dual threat ability, once again, able to scramble out of the pocket. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. Little read option look, but he knew he was taking that right away, and he's going to take this to the house. Yeah, he's got game-breaking speed, too. He's athletic. That's fantastic. Let's get another pass here. This kind of wraps up. Step up in the pocket. Make a great throw across the middle. Yeah, that's great feel. That's great instincts, too, out of him. Let's watch that one more time. Little hop, 3-step drop. Plants that back foot, steps up right in the pocket, delivers a strike across the middle. That's a great ball. I like this end zone view here. Let's look at the pocket. So clean pocket. He looks calm. He looks under pressure. His head's looking straight up. I'm looking at this DB here, see if he's reading. Yeah, I mean, he telegraphs a little bit where this ball is going. He's not really looking off the DB too much because watch his head. Boom. So he's looking. Ball pat, lets that ball go. That's a great catch, too. So, overall, fantastic highlights out of Faizon here. I love that. So, we'll share this scouting report here. And before we hop into it, I kind of just want to give my thoughts. So, I think great arm strength out of him. He's got great size, 6'3.5". He's got great weight, 200 pounds. I like his ability to layer the football, and his dual threat ability is definitely something you have to take into account if you're a defense, especially at the high school level. And then once he gets up to that NCAA level, if they don't take that into consideration, I think he can definitely hurt you down the field, like I said earlier. So I think he's 100% deserving of that 5-star rating. But I think once we get into the NCAA years, his 3 years of college, we need to get that footwork down. We need to get that footwork perfect so that he can stand in the pocket more. But I also want to see his decision-making take a little bit of a step. I want to see him make more progressive reads across the field. And I know that in high school, you can beat teams just based off raw athleticism and raw talent, which it seems like his wide receivers have, and he has the trust in his wide receivers to, go up and get those footballs that he's throwing up, 35, 40, 50 yards down the field. So I think he's a fantastic player, and I think once he gets to the next level, he's just going to even get better with the talent given at his arsenal. So we'll read his scouting report here. So box checking quarterback with the arm talent and dual threat athleticism to light up scoreboards on Saturdays and then eventually Sundays. So perfect. Great first sentence here by Andrew. So the arm talent, like I said, perfect. And then the dual threat athleticism, something he's more of a pass first guy, but if it happens, if the pocket collapses or if they want to get him on these RPOs or these read options, he's going to hurt you. Looks to the part with a budding frame that's hovering right around 6'3.5", 200 pounds, and should only continue to get bigger as he will start college well before his 18th birthday. So he's a younger guy, which is fantastic because obviously the younger you are, the more you go into college, and the more it's more intriguing to NFL franchises because you're going to hit your peak a little bit later, and you can only develop more and more and more as the younger you are. He uses a sturdy base and a smooth release to rip lasers to all different corners of the field. So again, arm strength is right there. Ball at times will jump out of his hands as he hits his short and intermediate targets with conviction. So we didn't see a lot of short routes out of him, but I think that I can it's like 50-50 because we didn't really see short routes, but when we did see him layer the football across the middle, above the linebacker, in front of the DBs, in front of the safeties, I think it was perfect. So I think that's 50-50. I agree 50, and then I don't agree 50. I spent the past 2 years coordinating a single back spread attack that's heavy on the RPO looks. We didn't see a lot of RPO, but on a couple of those plays you did see, especially one of those touchdowns that you saw where the wide receiver made a diving catch. More than capable of moving the chains on design runs with his lower power and acceleration. Agree. Those same legs allow him to shake his fair share of pressure, which we saw as well. He was able to shake off those one-arm tackles, and has proven to be a rather accurate distributor on the move as he can throw with both touch and anticipation. Also agree. We saw in that first clip of the huddle highlight, he threw his wide receiver open on the first play, and that's fantastic. 6 points. Not one that often puts the ball in harm's way, but must keep improving as a downfield passer if he wants to reach his franchise-worthy potential. Has to also figure out how to maintain a composure when the deck is stacked against him, which he has done at the prep level. Enters senior season with a near-flawless resume, having posted a 29-1 record as a starter while completing a top 24/7 best 72.5% of his passes with 71 touchdowns to go against just 5 interceptions. So he doesn't put the ball in harm's way, as we saw. He kind of likes to throw the deep ball across the middle. On the sidelines, and he's a proven winner, 29-1 record. That's fantastic, and he's got a great passing percentage. So I don't see anything wrong with that here, especially at the high school level. He's doing what he has to do, which is win and then not put the ball in harm's way and also complete a lot of his passes. So that's fantastic. Should be viewed as one of the top overall prospects in the 2026 cycle and the type of signal caller that can be a catalyst for multiple college football playoff runs. So honestly, a great scouting report. I agree with a lot of it. I think there was just that one sentence there where, heavy on RPO looks and then the ball at times jumps out of his hands, which I don't agree with, but that's like an 85%, 90% agree out of the scouting report by Andrew Ivins. And then he reminds us of Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. So Las Vegas Raiders. So I agree. I think I like this scouting report. I think, especially when it comes to huddle highlights for quarterbacks and honestly any player at any position in the high school that we will be watching in this series, you're only going to see highlights. We're not going to see lowlights. We're not going to see any of that because they're trying to sell themselves to NCAA teams. So I think it's hard to look outside of his highlights and see, at times maybe the ball does jump out of his hands because we didn't see these short routes. But I think just based on the 5 minutes of highlights that we watched, he is living up to this scouting report right here. So fantastic. I love it. We're going to hop into the 24/7 Tennessee Volunteers 2026 football commits and just see what the class is looking like for Faizon Brandon here. So they got 8 hard commits. Obviously, Faizon being the 5-star, 6'3", 200 pounds. Fantastic. I just want to see who is committing to this school. So we can see right here, Tyreek King. Did he decide to commit to the Volunteers after he saw Faizon? I don't know, because it was 2 months after. So let's just see who he's throwing the ball to here. So we got Tyreek King, 5'10", 5'11", 168 pounds, more of a route runner. He's number 10 in the position. That's a fantastic pickup for Faizon there. And we got Carson Sneed, 6'6", 248 pounds, the number 13 player at that position. That's great too. He committed 2 days after Faizon Brandon. That seems more of a, we got a pass thrower now, but he's also from Nashville, so that kind of makes sense. 6'6", 250 pounds. That's a great size for a high schooler. And then we got Tyron Evans, 6'3", 185 pounds. He's also from North Carolina. I don't know. It seems like these players are kind of just deciding that they want to, commit right after Faizon does because they want to have a chance to play with a great quarterback. So this is a great class for Faizon. I think he's going to, develop relationships with these guys, and I think it's only going to get, when we were talking about in that huddle when he was kind of chopping his feet and waiting for that ball to come out because he wanted to get that ball away quick, but he was kind of waiting on his receiver. He's going to develop relationships with these guys like Tyreek, with Carson and Tyron, and I think that's only going to excel Faizon and only make it easier for these wide receivers as well. So as we hop into his Twitter here, there's not really much to look at, but I kind of just wanted to briefly scan over his Twitter. It looks he's dropped his new high school senior schedule. This is a great picture right here. MVP. He won a 4A state title, 4.3 GPA, so he's in the classroom. That's awesome too. That's great to see. 6'4", 205, which might be a little bit updated. Is it a little, pushed out of perspective? I don't know, but I'm just kidding. 6'4", 205. That's a great size, and he's only going to get bigger. So he's an elite 11 finals roster. That's good to see. He's talking about, these edge rushers. He's talking about players that are committing to his school that he committed to. So he looks like a team guy. He looks like he's ready to be a leader, which is fantastic to see. You love to see that. He's grateful. He's humble. Yeah, honestly, Faizon branded. Very impressed with his highlights. Very impressed with the scouting report, which I agree with. And, I think as he gets into his college years, he's may not start right away for a Tennessee Volunteer school, but I think he's going to have the supporting cast around him with those two wide receivers and that 6'6" tight end. I think it's only going to make his impression on the Volunteers even better. So fantastic. I loved watching this Faizon Brandon highlights, and honestly can't wait to see what we got at the next level for him. But you guys can follow my socials, X and Instagram at BallByBen, and this is the as we wrap up these top 10 of these 2026 recruits. It's only going to get better. We're going to start getting into these 4 stars and these 3 stars, and it's going to start getting exciting here. So thanks y'all for watching. Make sure to watch all the other videos. We got a bunch of other ones on this channel, and catch you on the next one. Peace, y'all.